And now, delivered to you straight from the 505's most news-biting source of tainment, it's the New Mexican Inquisition with Danger Cave Arose.
All right, welcome back to the New Mexican Inquisition. I'm Danger Cave Arose. Of course, you guys know me. We're in season 3 right now, episode 26, I believe. 26 episodes. We got a great show for you tonight. We have a fast-talking LA comic on our panel tonight. Aubrey Jacobowitz is with us. Stick around for the end of the show. We're going to do a New Mexican Inquisition first. She's going to do a little bit of stand-up comedy for you guys, if you're excited about that. Yeah. We also have the Bernalillo County Assessor, Tanya Giddings, on the show tonight. And don't forget about our co-producer, New Mexican Inquisition political analyst, Stephanie W. Tejas. We're excited to have her back on. But first, what do? We talk about the news. That's right, we talk about the news a little bit. APD, Albuquerque Police Department, they're issuing citations to homeless people despite a court order from the ACLU lawsuit saying that they should no longer do this. So now the city is paying $7,500 to Albuquerque Healthcare for the Homeless because of their failure to comply, But, the way that healthcare costs have inflated so much the last few years, we'll be lucky if healthcare for the homeless can buy a single toothbrush with $7,500. So. The city has dismissed all the citations in compliance with the court order, and now they're encouraging anyone who is cited to go ahead and use their citation as toilet paper. Please. The city is also citing drivers who are driving into the ART bus lanes. That's right. I know, I've done it myself. But you got to stay out of that bus lane. They want us to practice for when the buses come, which could be as soon as next winter. or never. The city has lost its mind. The original electric buses were sent back to the producers in China because the operating systems were all in Chinese with no option for English at all. That was among the many reasons why we sent the buses back. It's been so long now waiting on the buses, I actually learned Chinese. So we could just take those buses, I think. 给我们公交车. Six inmates at Metropolitan Detention Center have reported feeling sick after coming in contact with an unknown substance. That's right. New Mexico prison system. If the beatings or the police don't kill you, the unknown substances will. What is that? The Uni Center, a community for family and children in Roswell, has become the target of a robbery recently. That's right. A thief broke a window and took $6 and 2 Gatorades. That's true. New Mexico, where the people will smash your window because they're thirsty. Once I heard a story about someone breaking into someone else's car because they just wanted to know what their car smelled like. That's the thing. They'll break a window for anything. APD released a new crime statistic. Hey, we love crime statistics on this show. Yes! We love it. It details that while the crime rate has fallen, the murder rate has gone up in the Albuquerque metropolitan area. Yeah. This is, of course, because all the petty criminals are being murdered. We got a great show for you tonight. Stick around after these messages.
Would you like to advertise your business on the New Mexican Inquisition? Well, just contact us on our website at NMINQ.com.
Welcome back to the Mexican Inquisition. I'm Danger Cave Arose. We have a news-biting panel of guests on the show tonight. First to my right, Stephanie W. Tejas, our Inquisition Analyst. Welcome back to the show. Hi. Hello.
How's it going?
Hi. We also have the Bernalillo County Assessor to my left. Everybody, I may introduce you to Tanya Giddings.
Woo!
Thanks for coming on. Thank you very much. What did Stephanie promise you in return for coming on the show?
You know what? Just smile. And our friendship.
We also have
friend.
we also have Los Angeles comic Aubrey Jacobowitz on the panel. Everyone, welcome Aubrey. We're going to try an Inquisition first, as I told you right before taping. We're going to have you do a little stand-up for our audience at the end of the... Why'd you do that, Sean? Why'd you take away her coffee? I don't know if we had the camera on that, but our production manager just took the iced coffee away from our comedian guest. So that's...
I believe it was because it was like an odd substance. Did you get these from MDC?
These are from MDC.
Oh, okay.
Probably.
I don't know. It is in my rider to start drama mid talk show. So if we could duke this out by the end, I would love to. I would love to duke it out. I'm coffeeless.
Yeah, he's fun to fight. We fight a lot. We usually do a lightning round in the second segment, but something interesting happened in the news that I want to talk about. There was a bear sighting in Santa Fe. Anyone hear about the bear sighting? Mm-hmm. A bear was sighted in Santa Fe. So for people who don't know, that's the sound that a bear makes before it eats your face like a picnic basket. So, I mean, because this is Santa Fe, so a bear sighting is essentially an attack. Mm-hmm. It's an attack on Santa Fe sensibilities.
Yes.
And so I wanted to spend this next segment talking about some bear safety tips for our fans to stay safe at the end of the summer and going forward. Because everyone knows after the 4th of July ends, that's when the bears come out. So we have a couple of bear safety tips I'd like to run past you guys. Of course, you never want to put meat or sweet-smelling food scraps such as melon in your compost pile, or do. You hippies are on your own. Keep your campsite clean and store food and garbage properly at all times. Okay, use bear-proof containers when available. So if you can get to your food, it's not safe.
No. Not at all.
You got to keep a good distance from your cooking area and food storage site. Like your home is a pretty safe place to be. Just back home. Just go home. Now, if you do all these things and it still goes awry and you encounter a bear, and the bear has not seen you, stay calm and slowly move away, making noise so that the bear knows that you're there. And then the bear can decide whether or not it wants to attack you or not. Well, don't laugh. This is very serious. So, Stephanie, do you have any bear safety tips you'd like to share with our audience?
Well, yeah, I mean, what I was going to say is when you're having a girls' night out at Sidewinders or FX, not to hit on their boyfriends, but I suddenly realized that we're talking about a different bear here. I think I misunderstood the question.
Yeah.
So let me come back to me.
Okay. Aubrey, do you have any bear safety tips you'd like to share?
I do actually. Well, when I think of bears, I'm just spitballing here. But when I think of bears, I think of California, where I'm from. I'm from LA, and to that, they're on our flag, they're in our hearts, and to me, bears are a symbol of liberty and strength and self-destructive behavior. So I would say that they are liberal, and in that we need to use the same tactics as the GOP, in the sense that we need to maybe scapegoat the bears, maybe we can put some stuff on them that wasn't necessarily their fault, like it's their natural instincts, and so we can blame it on that. Also, alternatively, we could gaslight the bears with our performative morality and make it seem like if they attack then they're the bad bears. So, yeah, I mean, and then if all else fails, we could just report them to ICE. So.
Reporting to ICE.
I like
Excellent.
it. I like it.
Those are excellent tips. I promised I'd go back to you.
I mean, all I really had was I know not to offer a child to a bear unless it's covered in honey.
Okay.
That's all I got.
It's like an offering.
Yeah, or make friends with your fatter, campmate so you can outrun the fat guy.
We learned last episode that
all I got.
Burkeños are leaving their children and pets in cars at an alarming rate, and maybe that's another incentive not to do that.
Are they covered in honey? Or they're just leaving them in there?
Well, yeah, because they're
so what's attracting the
they're
bears?
attracting bears with.
Right. Well, maybe we need to attract the bears into the cars and then how people cover them with saran wrap, cover cars with saran wrap. You can't open the doors.
It's like a humane bear trap, and then get them in the car and then drive them back out to the wilderness and let them go free.
Now, as the Bernalillo County Assessor, Tanya, using live bait to create bear traps in cars, what is your official position on that?
I didn't know where the conversation was going. I was trying to follow. My initial reaction would be just, freeze. Not counter to what you had said a moment ago, which make noise to let the bear know. But there was some good tips. As far as live, no live.
So freeze, but also follow the advice of making noise. So maybe stand there, petrified, scream.
That seems fair and easy.
All right,
that seems
Santa
like
Fe.
an easy and natural.
Not scream. Just hopefully the bear passes. You're frozen like a tree trunk or something.
And maybe the bear is a tourist visiting from Oklahoma, and just show it where the good turquoise is.
Yeah. Bears notoriously hate paisley, even if you see a stuffed animal bear with paisley, that is a hate crime. It is offensive. So I would say probably that the way that we dress affects the way they attack us, and we should probably be careful about how we dress if we're asking for it,
Well, that's all the time we have on this amazing new segment, Bear Safety Tips. We didn't come up with a name for the segment. Stick around after these brief messages, and we'll be right back with the next message.
Hey there, would you like to advertise your business on the New Mexican Inquisition? Well, just contact us on our website at NMINQ.com.
Welcome back to the Mexican Inquisition. For our news-biting panel on local politics that matter to you, we have the Bernalillo County Assessor, Tanya Giddings, on the program tonight. So this is your first time on the show.
It is my first time.
How are we doing? Is it okay?
I've enjoyed it.
Okay, great.
I really have enjoyed it. Thank you very much. I've enjoyed it. Thank you for having me.
We were all Googling you and county assessor, but I want you to explain to our audience, what is the county assessor? What is that?
Well, thank you for that question. A lot of people don't know. So what my job is I basically put a value on the 275,000 properties here in Bernalillo County. And the value is, the revenue of those values is what pays for a lot of our local programs, such as schools, hospitals, teachers, and just a lot of the programs that you get to take advantage of that Bernalillo County and the city offers.
So the value of the properties reflects the public services and things like that. Okay.
Correct.
So it's like the values of the homes themselves.
Right.
Not like whether or not they're good people or have nice smiles. It's
No, everything's based on market value, prior year market value.
Well, that's interesting.
If you want to get technical.
Is the assessor, is that an elected office? Are you appointed?
It's elected. So I was actually, the position became vacant in 2013. And I was one of 21 applicants, and I was unanimously appointed. So I finished out that 2-year term and then ran for re-election. And so I've been serving now about 5.5 years, and I'm up for re-election right now, but unopposed, so I'm thankful and appreciative of that.
Do you have a question?
Yeah, I have a question. Have you ever considered modeling your work after the Purge and just having one day where everything is free, like all of the miles and miles where you could just like put a stake on it?
Yeah, never thought about that, but I will say the first Purge was probably the best one. All the other ones went downhill.
Isn't that always the case?
You mean the first Purge movie or the movie coming out that's called The First Purge?
Oh, yeah, no, I haven't seen that one. Just the very first Purge movie.
Yeah, because the new one's called The
With
First
Ethan
Purge.
Hawke.
I think it's to confuse people.
Oh,
Because
really?
people, you're like, oh, you got to see the first Purge because that's the best one. Then they're going to go see the new one
Yeah, the
thinking it's the
Ethan
first
Hawke
Purge.
Purge was a good one. But no.
Stephanie, how about you?
Yeah, I do have a question. So, not a lot of women hold public office, have been elected to office. We're hopefully trying to change that. So this year you're seeing a big wave of women. So that's exciting. But that's great. I'm so excited. But even less women hold technical or financial elected positions. So like assessor or auditor. Now, tell me your experience, because as a woman assessor, you're like a unicorn, right? This is mythological. It just you don't see it a lot in its natural habitat. So tell me what it's like to be a woman elected official in one of these technical financial fields.
Oh, thank you. So I am the second woman to hold this position in Bernalillo County, it is a very technical finance position. And because it's field appraisal, a lot of these assessor and appraiser positions used to be held by majority men. But that has changed completely, at least in my world. And it's wonderful to see, and I would hope to see in the near future, a auditor, a woman in that position. Women, we get the technicality of things. We're very detailed, and I think that's what make us really good electeds and leaders in those types of positions. And I'm looking forward to seeing more and more women in those positions. I'm part of the International Association of Assessing Officers. I know that doesn't sound probably like the funnest of stuff. It's my world and I enjoy it thoroughly, but I was just part of a panel called Women Leading the Way in the Assessment Industry. And it was a panel of 4 women from different parts of the country, and we all were leaders in our respective departments or counties, and we just talked about how women approach things differently, and especially in that type of field. So hopefully I will continue to be able to build on that work in the future.
That's good.
Now, what is the term limit on the assessor?
5 years. So it's 5. This will be my second term, so I will be termed out.
Oh, really? And you can't, and that's it?
No, unless I take some time off and run again, but no.
Well, this might be wildly inappropriate, but other than assessor, are there any other public offices you'd think would be interesting to serve under after your term is up?
Yeah,
I know you're probably focused on this next term.
Yeah, I truly am. I mean, I've been I spent all day kind of laying out my goals for the next, actually the remainder of this year and the next 4 years. But I hadn't really thought of any other kind of office after this. I never thought I'd actually be in an elected position before. My background's very eclectic and well-rounded, I believe, and it took me, for the longest time I would say eclectic, now I feel it's well-rounded. But public service was always in my heart. I just never thought that I would be at the front end of an elected office. So we'll see. down the road auditor, but I know there's some wonderful other possible candidates for that. So if not, we'll see. Maybe I'll do something else.
I know. Stephanie's really excited about Brian Colon becoming the next state auditor.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Is he hot?
he's like, as far as like it being important that women hold these technical positions. He came into my work the other day wearing some mom jeans, and I feel like that was, he's like 20% of the way there. So I can see why.
Sounds hot to me.
He had some hot mom jeans on.
Yeah.
I don't want to hug too much. Do you have another
I
question?
do. I have one more question. Can you assess my value? Monetarily, spiritually, maybe emotionally. She's not going to
Property.
She's not going to go there. She doesn't want to be the one to deliver bad news.
I do have a question. So you mentioned you're laying out your goals for 2018. I know recently, within the last month, you just released your annual report and maintenance program, your overall E&E report, so effectiveness and efficiencies. Can you tell us a little bit about what that is, what you're planning for, and why people in Bernalillo County should care about it?
Okay.
Right? I'm a homeowner, but I don't know what all this means. So why should we care about it, and why should we know about it?
So every year, statutorily, we present, all county assessors present, all 33 counties in the state present to their commissioners a layout of what the property valuation maintenance program is for the county. So basically what the value is and how we are maintaining what that value is for the county. So in April, we mail out the notice of values to all property owners, telling them what their value is. From basically April to the end, till November, before we deliver the tax roll to the treasurer and she sends out the tax bills, we are basically doing our work in maintaining that value, because property owners appeal. So out of the 275,000 we sent out, about 5,000 protested. So all that stuff is being appealed. During that time, we're trying to maintain, and so at the end of the year, that's what I'm presenting to the commissioners, letting them know we've maintained this value. Right now, we're the value of the county increased by 3.26%, and it's also because the only thing that they do is approve my budget to continue to oversee that. Why it's important for property owners and just taxpayers and citizens of Bernalillo County is they want to. I would assume they would want to make sure that I'm doing everything I'm supposed to be doing as fair and equitable as possible for property owners, because as I said, the revenue of property taxes is what pays for our services, like education, like first responders, and the hospital, UNMH. And so, I mean, that would be, I guess, the indirect importance for just a citizen to understand it and make sure I'm doing things right.
All right. Well, I want to thank you again for coming on our show.
Thank you.
You're up for re-election in November.
Yes.
With everyone else. All right. So make sure you go to the polls. You have another great reason to show up in November and vote for a quality woman. This is the year to vote for women, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're going to do it. Well, thanks again for coming on the
Thank you
program.
very much for
I want to
having
thank our
me.
panelists and guests. As I mentioned before, this is New Mexican Inquisition First. We're going to be right back after these messages with Aubrey Jacobowitz doing a little bit of stand-up comedy. Check it out.
Would you like to advertise your business on the New Mexican Inquisition? Well, just contact us on our website at NMINQ.com.
All right. Welcome back to the Mexican Inquisition. We're going to let our comedians sign us out with a little bit of stand-up comedy. It is my pleasure to introduce Aubrey Jacobowitz.
Hi, everybody. I'm Aubrey Jacobowitz. A little bit about me. I'm polyamorous and queer, so everyone is invited to disappoint me. Thank you. I don't know if I want to have kids, because then that takes suicide entirely off the table for me. And that's just, but that's just my parenting style. No judgment on anybody else. My mom is Mexican. I'm white because it skips a generation. That's how that works. But I do want to be there for my Latina rebels. I want to be there on the front line, but I feel like it's weird being an advocate and also having to be like, excuse me, I'm not white. Excuse me, I'm a Latina, and I'm here for the movement. Are these snacks gluten-free, organic? My parents used to think I was a lesbian growing up. They weren't mean about it or anything. They just exchanged knowing glances every time I wanted to wear those cargo pants that turned into shorts. I used to have a backwards baseball cap that I would put on at recess. It turns out I'm bisexual, and that's how you say it, because I'm Latina, so I would know. I'm a bisexual, and I've never told my parents, not because they would care, but because I don't even want them to be half right, I don't want to give that to them. I'm going to keep that one for myself. But they're cool. My dad's nice. He's a nice guy, but he's very dad. This one time I went to Planned Parenthood to get some tests run, stand with PP, and I guess the invoice was sent to my parents' house. So my dad calls me and he goes, "Hello, excuse me, daughter." We're very email friendly. He goes, "Hello, daughter. I got this invoice from Planned Parenthood for $100. And I was like, "Yeah, Dad, that sounds about right." And he goes, "Okay, are you okay?" And I was like, "Oh, Dad, that's so sweet. That's so nice. You don't know how much an abortion costs." Oh my gosh, that's so quaint of you. Or maybe he thought I got like a discount, like I had a coupon on an abortion, and suddenly my Jewish father could be like, "Aubrey's doing well. She's saving." I was recently celibate for 3 months, one of which was deliberate, and I just wanted to like recalibrate. I was still dating a bunch, but which says a lot about my good looks and personality, but I wasn't having sex, and it was going really well until I ran into my ex when I Yelped where he worked, and I went there, and 1 star every time. 1 star. Oh, I keep going back. I don't know. Have you guys ever smelled garbage on the street and then breathed it in a little bit more just to make sure that it was garbage? That's what I was doing there. He was trying to get back together with me, which is like, cool. You're trying to get with this like Draco Malfoy listens to Nirvana. That's great. But he was saying these things like, "What can I do? Who can I fight for your honor?" And I was just like, I don't know, alcoholism? Your demons, perhaps, would be nice. Have you ever talked to somebody about getting sober while they're on cocaine? It's purely Shakespearean. I told my dad that abortion joke. He's heard it before, and he was dropping me off at the airport recently. And he's like, oh my God, Aubrey, Roe v. Wade might be overturned, so you might not be able to get that abortion. I'm like, oh my God, Dad, I'll find a way. I'll figure it out. I know you worry about your daughter, but don't worry about your daughter. I don't know. Men are trash except for my dad. The only reason I still date straight men is because they are bisexual men. So thank you. I'm Aubrey Jacobowitz. Thanks.
All right. I want to thank again our panel of guests. It was an amazing episode. Join us next week. We'll have another news-biting episode of the New Mexican Inquisition. Good night, everybody.